Reports are stating that Fenerbahce are interested in Tottenham Hotspur midfielder Yves Bissouma. Reports are stating that Spurs are interested in Xavi Simons, and Spurs have made a bid for defender Koni de Winter. A former Spurs midfielder has stated that Ange Postecoglou has to go. A former Spurs defender has come out and said that Rome wasn't built in a day. It is disrespectful to talk about Ange Postecoglou being sacked. Lucas Bergvall is still at Hotspur Way working. He talked about his injury. He stated that he will be going on holiday soon, and his Europa League medal looks lovely on the wall. Hi everyone, hope you're well. Chris Cowlin here, and this is another episode of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. So let's get into some transfer rumours and reports. Of course, it is day 5 of the summer transfer window. It opened on the 1st of June, and the first part of the summer transfer window closes on Tuesday, the 10th of June, 7 p.m. So we've got 5 days left of this first part. Now, a couple of rumours and reports published from Team Talk. They are stating that Tottenham Hotspur have joined the summer battle to sign RB Leipzig attacking midfielder Xavi Simons, and Chelsea are also interested. Reports in Turkey today are stating that Fenerbahce are intensifying their efforts to bolster their midfield, with Tottenham Hotspur's 28-year-old Mali international Yves Bissouma emerging as a prime target. Reports in Italy are stating that Villarreal are ready to rival Inter Milan and Tottenham for the signature of Genoa defender Koni de Winter. Tottenham Hotspur have reportedly already made an offer for the 22-year-old. Now, as we all know, there is a lot of speculation out there right now. Will Ange Postecoglou be the Tottenham Hotspur boss for a third season? Of course, during the parade, he said season 3 is better than season 2. And there is a lot of opinions out there right now. And we're going to go to a report from Jamie O'Hara, of course, former Spurs midfielder, now on TalkSport. He has stated that Spurs do need to sack Postecoglou, and he has named the ideal replacement. O'Hara said it's time for Spurs to move on from Ange. He has lost 22 games in the Premier League. This season has been a shambles. I understand he won the Europa League, which is a monumental moment for the football club. But let's be honest, the game was terrible, the performance wasn't great, and Manchester United were an awful opposition. Jamie O'Hara then goes on to say, I believe that Daniel Levy is genuinely thinking about getting rid of Ange Postecoglou and looking at other options. I'd be looking at Thomas Frank or Andoni Iraola. Frank has been in the Premier League a long time. He's done a great job at Brentford with a budget. Does he deserve the chance at a big 6 club? I would say probably he does. But if you're going to go big, Daniel Levy should be looking at the likes of Xavi Hernandez or Simone Inzaghi. These are the options out there, and Spurs need to realise that they are a big football club playing in the Champions League next season, with a UEFA Super Cup to play and the opportunity to kick on next year. Is Ange the man to take them forward? I don't think so. Now, former Tottenham Hotspur defender Ramon Vega has stuck up for Ange Postecoglou, and this is what he said. I find it incredibly disrespectful to even think about sacking Ange Postecoglou. He has accomplished the impossible, something others with more significant credentials have failed to achieve. Letting him go would be one of the biggest mistakes the club, again, could make, especially considering the previous errors the club has already made with management and recruitment. Ange Postecoglou is here to stay and needs to be given the support it needs. With that extra money for qualifying for the Champions League, Rome wasn't built in one day. Tottenham Hotspur midfielder Lucas Bergvall has been talking about the Europa League final and his injury. He said at first it was really frustrating and so disappointing knowing I wouldn't be a part of it in terms of playing, but then I knew I had to support the lads, support the team, just give whatever I could just to be positive and be there for them. I'm getting better every day. I'm still at Hotspur Way training, rehabilitation, and I've done that for about 2 weeks now. I'm going on holiday soon, but I just want to make sure everything is right. Lucas Bergvall has also spoken out about winning the Europa League. His Europa League medal, he said it's looking nice on the wall. He's also spoken out about winning the 3 supporter awards. He said it's been crazy. I've learnt a lot this year, both on and off the pitch, just training every day here with some of the players, top players in the world, the staff. I'm so grateful for this season and for everyone helping me to achieve these awards. It is a big honour. I can't really describe it. It is an amazing feeling and there is more to come. Now, my thoughts on everything in this episode, and let's start by talking about the summer transfer window because this part of the window, we are now halfway in. Spurs haven't signed anyone. Of course, there is a couple of months to go in this window, so I'm not panicking at this stage after 5 days. But when you do look at other Premier League sides, being on it from the very, very start of the window, from the off, we always hope as Spurs fans, we always wish that we do get business done early. And, we are already thinking about next season. Of course, we are Europa League winners. We are going to be playing in the Champions League. We do need top-notch players, top quality players. And you would hope that Spurs do have a plan of some kind about next season. But of course, there is so much noise or silence, however you want to look at it, about will Ange Postecoglou be the manager next season. Sky Sports came out with a report within the last 24 hours stating, and I've already said very similar as well, Ange Postecoglou has a 4-year contract at Tottenham. Why should Spurs need to come out and say anything? If we don't hear anything, it is business as usual. From what I understand, Daniel Levy and Ange Postecoglou are still on holiday. But it would be nice to get some kind of hint or confirmation that Ange Postecoglou will be the manager and, Spurs will then be very active in this transfer window because I feel like there is a lot to do. Very interesting reports coming out stating that Spurs have already placed a bid for Coney de Winter. It's interesting. Do a football club, do Spurs, put bids in when there is uncertainty about the manager's future? It's an interesting one. And Football.London also reported yesterday that a number of staff within the club don't know what is going to happen next. So they are a little bit uncertain. They know that a lot of change is happening this summer, but they don't know what, to what extent. It's interesting because there are so many arguments at the moment online. And I say arguments because people are going at one another with this difference of opinion. I'm going to say it again. I was on TalkSport on Monday. I stated that I ran a fan show with Craig on Sunday, 4-hour fan show. We had about 2,500 votes in the end. 74% of viewers and listeners said that they wanted Ange Postecoglou to have a third season. 26% said that they would like him to be replaced. And people were then submitting names in. Thomas Frank, Andoni Iraola, Marco Silva were the names that came up the most. I think from, top of my head, Jurgen Klopp came up a couple of times. That's very unlikely, isn't it? And then people were mucking about putting names like Sam Allardyce in there as well. But a number of people have come back to me, and I also put a video out on YouTube on Wednesday evening in reply to Simon Jordan because he actually referenced my conversation with Addy and Rory on TalkSport from Monday, and he said that he believed that a lot of people that he spoke to, particularly in the media, etc., they felt that they wanted Ange Postecoglou to go, which I completely disagree with, actually. In the last couple of hours, I've actually put a poll out on Twitter or an X that I will keep up there for 7 days. And that's already at 64% of people want to keep Ange Postecoglou in. I think he's had about 1,500 votes in the first couple of hours. So if you are on X, do go over to my X account. It's at Chris Cowlin and place your vote. I've put 3 options. you want to see a season 3. You want Ange Postecoglou to be replaced, and there's also the option of I'm still undecided, and that's quite high. At the moment as well. It's not everyone just wants Ange Postecoglou to be replaced. Some people are still undecided about what they want to see next season. Now that brings me on nicely to talk about two opinions from two very opinionated people. Jamie O'Hara, of course, on TalkSport, former Spurs midfielder. He believes that Ange Postecoglou has to go. Former Spurs defender Ramon Vega, who, of course, is a regular on this channel. We speak to Ramon a lot. He said Rome wasn't built in a day. It's disrespectful to talk about Ange Postecoglou getting the sack. Do you know what? I completely agree with Ramon Vega. I think it is very, very disrespectful to be talking about Ange Postecoglou in this way when he has just delivered us a European trophy. I feel like it comes across as very, very ungrateful as fans. The fact that, he's just delivered us European success, and it's not only just a trophy, it is Champions League football. It's a lot of money being brought into the football club because, let's face it, it was either going to be no European football at all or the big one, Champions League. Huge amounts of money being ploughed into the football club, and Ange Postecoglou guided Tottenham to that success. And not only that as well. So it's a trophy, it's Champions League football, it's a huge amount of money. A lot of fans are behind him. The players are really behind him as well. As I've said in previous episodes, players aren't or haven't been given direct questions about Ange. It's them who have actually brought up Ange's name and said, how they, really like him in the dressing room, how he is that father figure, how he has got them to win, the Europa League, etc. So they've been very, very complimentary. And it's not only all of that, it is also, we've got that Spursy tag deleted. No more banter. No more banter from these fans saying about Spurs don't win trophies. We've done it on a big stage. We've done it. We've won the Europa League against Manchester United. And let's be honest and frank about it. How many people, how many pundits come out and said Spurs will not be beating Manchester United in a European final? Manchester United will always find a way to win. The clubs, Spurs being Spursy, and Manchester United, they've got a history of winning trophy after trophy, final after final. Not this time. Not this time. I feel like a lot of people have been proved wrong and they don't like it. And I tell you what, I've said this in an episode that I put out about Simon Jordan, reacting to Simon Jordan and replying to Simon Jordan's comment about it is not the majority of the fans want Ange Postecoglou to go. It's actually the opposite. The majority of fans that, and it's the proof is in the pudding here. I put out a video. It's had nearly 2,000 comments, and the majority, and we're not even 24 hours in, actually, nearly 2,000 comments, and the majority of people are saying that they want Ange Postecoglou to stay. And these are Spurs fans. These are not TalkSport pundits. He spoke to people like Emmanuel Petit, an ex-Arsenal player. Why do people want his opinion about, Ange winning the Europa League and then, him wanting him sacked? Who cares? It's about us. It's about us as a fan base, what we want. But, of course, Daniel Levy is going to make that decision, so it's going to be an interesting one. But, going back to Ramon Vega's comments, disrespectful, I do feel like there has been a lot of disrespect towards Ange Postecoglou. He come out and said a couple of times, I always win in my second season, and I feel like a lot of the media at the moment don't like the fact that Ange Postecoglou has proved them wrong. I've seen a number of Spurs fans actually come out and say, I got it wrong. A lot of people that I know wanted Ange Postecoglou to go, but since winning the Europa League, since having that trophy parade, etc., a lot of people have held their hands up and said, look, I was wrong and I want him to stay. And I also feel that the minority of fans who want Ange Postecoglou to go out the door are the ones who are shouting the loudest. So they feel like by shouting louder and by putting more and more on social media, they feel like they are in the majority. But actually, that is not true at all. They are actually in the minority. Lastly, talking about Lucas Bergvall, he is still working very hard at Hotspur Way. Let's wish him all of the very best for a speedy recovery, and let's hope that we see him firing on all cylinders at the start of next season, because what a season he has had. He's only played a handful of Premier League games, but he won all of the awards. I think it was 11 or 12 that he started in the Premier League, but from what we have seen of him, he has got a fantastic future coming up. A very, very exciting player. I feel like he's got it all, actually. And when you look at the recruitment, and Spurs quite often get criticised about recruitment, these are the sorts of players that we need to be buying. The Mickey van der Vens, the Bergvalls, these sorts of signings. And when you look in the past couple of years, other players that we've signed, even looking at like Destiny Udogie, players like that, even Pedro Porro, look at what season Pedro Porro's had for us. The amount of game time that he has had. Good job he didn't pick up an injury. The amount of game time that he had during the season, incredible. But, going back to Bergvall, I love that. That him saying that the medal looks lovely on the wall. Amazing. I'm sure it does. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Spurs.